Good morning and welcome to my garden. Today we're going to talk about sweet potato slips. A lot of us like sweet potatoes. They're really an easy crop for us in the garden, but first we need slips. There are several ways we can get slips. We can take a large tuber, split him lengthwise, let it cork over for a couple of days, take a pan of soil, place this guy cut face down, cover him with an inch or so of soil, water him, and he'll put out slips off of the sides and top of the sweet potato. And we break them off when they get 4 or 6 inches tall. We can root them or we can plant them directly into the garden. Sweet potatoes will root fairly quick. And they can, you'll get a plant, you put it out, and man, it looks terrible, but they'll go ahead and go. I've bought in slips where all it looked like I got was a piece of stem about 8 inches long. Not a leaf, not a root. Plant them out and they did all right. And this is our traditional orange with an orange flesh. You can get them more of a reddish. They come in a lot of different ones. This came from a neighbor. I've been doing this particular one for 25 years. So that's our option there. We can take, and like these here, this is a purple variety with purple flesh. I got some 7 years ago. I've seen these in a Oriental market. I bought us some samples, tried them, I liked them, I took one of them, and I did this with the toothpicks. You find the pointy end. This is the end that goes down. The blunt end is the top. Put a row of toothpicks or skewers or matchsticks around him, and he goes into a water, like so, in a nice sunny place. He will grow little slips off the top, again, 4, 6, 8 inches. Break them off, root them, or into the garden. Quite simple. This here we have another variety that has a purple skin with a cream colored flesh. This came from the health food store. The bin said Japanese sweet potato. I don't really know anything more about it. It does pretty well too. And I said they're fairly easy to get your slips. You can take a plant and cut pieces off. And you just plant this piece into the garden, or you can root it into a pot and then into the garden. One like this, there's 4 there. This plant was started 6 weeks ago with the idea of doing this demonstration. And it's too big to go in. It's root bound. It's not top quality. I wouldn't want to set this one out like it is. I would take it as cuttings. But I'm going to show you another way that I do from time to time. And I'll set some in the window, and they'll have nicer leaves. These here happen to be covered in the bin with a coffee sack, and it had a hole in it. It got a little light. I store my sweet potatoes over the winter actually in my living room. I got a spot behind the stove. It's kind of out of everybody's view. And the bins go back there, covered. It stays, because it's close to the heating stove, it stays about 75, 80 degrees all the time, and they love it. I will have sweet potatoes until November of this year. I will harvest in October, so having them year-round is not a problem. But what I will do is I'll take these little stems. I'll break it off. End up with something like this. And you can see on this some little root nodules. See if we can get close enough to see some little root nodules. Into the pot. Firm them up. Little drink of water. 2 to 3 weeks, this guy is ready to go out. He'll be rooted, he'll have nice leaves, he'll be ready to go. And I still get to eat this guy. Them stems do not hurt it that much. You will notice a little bit of deterioration of quality of the tuber, but still quite edible. To grow these nice sweet potatoes like this, I have tried pots. I have tried tubs, buckets, bags, raised beds, and I like my raised beds, but not for sweet potatoes. I will make a mound 18 inches high and 18 inches long. I allow the soil to settle. And I will actually usually choose a really bright sunny spot, but it doesn't need to be the best ground. If it's a little bit on the poorer side, that's fine for sweet potatoes. I give that bed time a couple days to settle, rake it over, kill the weeds, they're sprouting. Every 18 inches to 2 foot, in goes a slip. And other than lifting the vines, weeding them, the occasional watering, if rain fails us, which it tends to do, you want to keep the water fairly consistent so these tubers don't crack. If they get dry and then wet, they will split and they will not keep nearly as well. There's not a whole lot to work to them, but you do want to raise your vines so they don't root down everywhere. You can see here, even here, we have root nodules trying to form. If this was touching ground, it would root. You can trellis them, and they do quite well, but it does take quite a bit of effort to keep up with them once the vines start to run. You can harvest these ends off of your vines. These nice, you get the nice tender leaves and stem. They're not bad as a green. In yield, I can get 5-6 nice tubers like this from a single plant. And then there'll be a lot of smaller ones. This does the best for me. It's a shorter season. And you dig these whenever the tubers are large enough that you're happy with them. But they're a shorter season, and they do quite well. These are a long season. Both of these are longer seasoned. Again, they do produce well. They're very good sweet potatoes. They just will not make the yield of this here, of the shorter seasoned ones. But the flavors are different, the textures are different. This one here is quite dry. So anyway, there's our little short video on sweet potatoes. I hope you enjoy it. Have a good day.